Friday, October 11th. Market analysis, Stan Ehrlich. Good morning, 9:52 California time. Well, I've been trying to justify a top for the last several weeks because October, and I'll start out right off with the October low discussion here, showing you this in TradeStation. Normally I use NinjaTrader. There's the October time frame this year, question mark. We're not getting any significant downside move. There was only a little bit of a low here in the SPY very early in the month, October 3rd, it looks like. I really wouldn't call that equivalent to last year, the year before. The year before was fairly mild and it worked very well, but this is nothing like that. The year before, we had something slightly early, but also on October 30th, just in time. And it could turn out that way this year. We've got another basically 3 weeks, less half a day to go. And a lot can happen in 3 weeks, and you know it. So I'm not going to go through the details here about every single year. I've done that each Friday now for the last few Fridays. But we're not overbought. We have new highs for the last 2-3 days. The downside corrections have been approximately support. And today is another new high, and we're up a little bit again. Now, even if we had a bearish engulfing, which would be probably a little bit bearish, it's not one of my signals, which is what I wanted. And I may still get, but you've got to get overbought again. And that means you've got to rally higher than today's high in order to pull up the RSI to 75 or higher on my custom relative strength index, which is at the subgraph 2. It's not exactly like Wells Wilder's RSI. I've customized it in a variety of ways. I learned RSI from Wells himself. Okay. The 5-minute chart. I don't know how high up we can go, but it should be relatively sharp and quick if it happens. Right now, we're dipping down some. This is a 5-minute chart on all the indexes coming up, and then I go into futures, of course. And interest rate futures have been very, very interesting, and I've got a lot of other signals going in other groups. So here we go. E-mini, 5-minute chart. We're dropping off a little. We're still up almost 2 points for the day, which is not a lot. So maybe we'll get a reversal of some sort on this particular Friday. Now, the spider, still firm, still up there, not happening. 5-minute chart on the spider. This does not, at this point, look like a top. I've got to say that. QQQ, it is stalling out at a resistance area at a previous high, which was at the time September 26 overbought. So we're only back up to the same resistance area that we were on September 26, and it's stalling out. Now, we're not overbought. We can't have a red signal, but we could have a little double top. And I also have to point out that we're nowhere near the highest high for the move, which was back in July. So that's up at 503 and a half-ish. Currently 492. So a ways to go. Now, I'm not saying we're going to. I'm just looking for solid reasons to start talking about the short side again. Right now, I am looking for and not finding that kind of signal. So Doji today, inside trading range, almost exactly unchanged on the QQQ at the moment. The NASDAQ is currently almost dead unchanged also, obviously. And this is the daily NQ. Doji, inside day, no reversals. Staying right at a previous bear trend line. That's interesting. But that's about all I got. It's not overbought. I can't come up with anything at the moment that I love to see and feel very confident about talking about a turn, up or down, in this case down. So NASDAQ 5-minute chart, nothing here. Just zip, zap, back and forth. Doesn't seem to have a direction momentarily yesterday and today. Very similar looking, actually, but that's it. Nothing. How about the YM? Another new high. This is historical highs. You've seen it on the news. They talk about the Dow all-time new highs. Okay, fine, but all the other indexes are not necessarily pointing in the same damn direction. We're not overbought. Today is, a new high for the whole trend for the YM futures contract, and that was made back on September 27th. We are currently staying there. But I keep telling you guys, and it's showed up a couple of times just recently, if you make new highs for an extended period of time, I'm talking at least weeks, if not months, multiple months, make a new high for that period of time, and it doesn't close above the old high, that's not necessarily good follow through. It's not necessarily bullish, even though it's a new high closing. It's not above the previous highest high. That oftentimes is a bull trap, and all of a sudden the market starts to drop off sharply right away, next couple of days. So this is critical at the moment for the YM to maintain a close above, what do we got? We got close above 43.05, currently 43.29. And this moves pretty quick. We're up 280. Okay, so that's not very far away. So now, no particular sign except for a little overbought short term, very short term, 5-minute RSI. Doesn't tell me much. Just we might dip a little bit more, but 0005, that's an important number for the YM. Russell, not the same story. Already topped out, did have a new low in October yesterday, 1010, and that is not particularly that big a deal at all. I was looking for something way down in here, down at these major lows, and maybe even a little bit lower than, early August, just to, stand out more. And here's the Russell short term. Okay, enough of the indexes. Bonds. Well, how about that? We have a head and shoulder top. The neckline, light yellow, broken on a closing basis on this day, measuring from the breakout price level down the same amount that you would measure from the highest high to the neckline on the same day. So that's a measuring stick or depth, DEPTH, depth of the formation. So the downside objective has now been fulfilled very accurately. And we're oversold. And we're higher than yesterday's close. If bonds can rally above yesterday's high, I'll have a bullish engulfing ER buy signal official. Not that they all work. And that would be very, very encouraging that this market would bounce up somewhat. Now, remember, in general, and that's a very broad general, if this trends higher, stock market tends to like that and be bullish and vice versa. But look at this move down we have had here in the bond market. I know everybody's trusting that we're going to see more rate cuts, but this tells me maybe it'll be delayed. But the point I'm making is head and shoulder top work perfectly, almost dead on, probably less than 1% extra. Now, there's another story here. This is still a little sloppy double top. And if that's true, then the downside objective is going to be at approximately 116.5. Now, you see, I've got this green circle and the yellow square is just horizontally and vertically blocking off the green circle, which I think I'm going to actually eliminate at this point because I was and am in the circle at today's lows. It worked. Now I'm looking for a low, hopefully, and I'd be surprised if I'm anywhere super close, on October 17th at 118.09 at the bottom of this discretionary drawn lines that I made. But I did this a long time ago, back on September 25th, probably. And that was before the rally, which the yellow line stayed on the chart even to today, of course, because it came right back into play into my prediction a week or two later after I started it. Great. Perfect. Done. I'm in the green circle. It's October. We're oversold. We reached an objective. It is a perfect place for the damn thing to stop going down and start going up. Although I would like a little lower. Notes also have everything the same except they have an ER sell signal on the high day exactly. September 17th. We got short ER1 overnight and a scalp. I don't remember whether the scalp made money or not. Looks a little skeptical. Frankly, it probably lost a little. And an ER3 overnight and scalp. I can see the scalp made money because there's a little green dotted lines inside the yellow body. So we still have those two short positions. We're trading at 112.085 and we are short on an average, let's just say at 115.11. So this is now 3 points each on the average. Our stop is at 12.19, about a point higher. Probably should lower that. I'm thinking about it. Make more money, but you don't want to get too close. You get stopped out too quick and you're sorry that you did. Anyway, next, new sell signal a couple of days ago in the crude oil. Yesterday it came back up and we got short ER3. Now we're still short ER3 overnight with a small profit, the little green line right there. And it's a doji, currently trading a little lower on the day. Our stop is starting to come down. I've shortened the kicker this morning on the stop to make it move down a little faster. So I didn't want to stay flat. I wanted to come down a little bit. So I moved my input number that causes the STS to move. Really shouldn't mess around with that too much, but I think I know what I'm doing. Next, we have the heating oil, also a bearish signal. Let me go back to crude for a second. So assuming we're starting to trend a little bit lower, I hate to use that word trend necessarily, but I'm expecting a low below 71.52 easily. And that's the lowest low so far since the bearish engulfing only 3 days ago. Now, after that, I'm looking for 66.25, 64.10. Yeah, definitely. Okay, back to heating oil, bearish engulfing up to the ER3 trigger price. Closed yesterday with a very small loss. This morning we are down just a little bit and it's working in our favor. I like what I see. There's nothing really wrong here. Great. I probably will start messing with my stop in a day or two. I just want to see it start to slide. Next, down. Natural gas had at the top of the market an ER sell signal about a week ago. It came all the way down to and started to bounce off of a low and got stopped out of our great profitable trade. We held on to the ER1 overnight for 5 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, and got out yesterday. Today, at the moment, we're still down a little bit more, but we have a higher low and a higher high. Now let's see if we can rally a little bit. Hopefully I'll get another sell signal. I kind of doubt that. We're so far down on our side, we'd have to rally all the way back up, at least to the high of the bearish engulfing, which again, trade is all over yesterday. Great trade, pick the top day. Next, bearish engulfing, starting to work its way lower until yesterday's reversal. It was a bullish engulfing. And today we've popped up a heck of a lot. So I think this is probably about all we're going to get on the bounce, and I'm expecting it to turn down and start to make new lows below 26.18-ish. And I'm looking for a test of this yellow line, or maybe a little bit below the old bullish resistance line. Worked really well for a few weeks right in here. And a signal that worked for a few days also in there. Next, silver. Not too much for you. Didn't get overbought, but the resistance area stopped it on both rallies. I still think this is basically getting caught between a rock and a hard spot. So the upside resistance has been stopping pretty consistently, and we've got a couple of significant lows, one of which was the bottom of the market with an ER buy signal, bullseye. What about platinum? You know, the precious metals are a little bit baffling lately. We're getting caught between a rock and a hard spot here also. The rally highs have been in this green zone, and a lot of these lately since last February, most of the year, have been in this yellow zone, support area. And right now we're kind of in the middle of it, and in the middle of RSI. Shut the heck up if I don't have anything to say that I could feel confident about. Next is copper. Now, we got the top of the market to the exact day with the red bearish engulfing, and you guys know this is all automated. I just sit here and watch it happen. It's great. 2 days later, we got just high enough to get to the ER3 new short trigger price. Bingo, right there. Tiny loss on the close. Started to make money immediately the next day. So we are still out now today. Just today. Got bumped out about where we are right now, maybe a tick or two lower. I would say 4.482 for my offset. Looks to be probably pretty damn correct. Yep, I think so. And now let's see what happens. But it was a great trade, ER3 overnight. We had an extra short in here, but I don't add the positions once I'm in a trade on the short side of that particular category, like a 3 overnight or a 1 overnight. Those are the only two possibilities. The other two are scalps. I don't add to the 1 overnight or the 3 overnight. I'll just stay with the trade until I'm finally stopped out like today. So this did not add another short, but hey, you could have used it for that technique. Develop your own. Copper. Support's holding. We're out of our short. I'm going to wait for more comments. Sorry. Now next is grains. Soybeans have another low for the trend. And I have been, looking for significant reasons to turn bullish long term, and I ain't got them. Nothing. Every rally we've had, for the most part, maybe meal is a little bit of an exception, has failed on rallies and made new lows there after, for the last many months on the average. So I am looking for another dip down to 995 and probably down around the 960 area. We've got two bearish engulfings in soybean oil. The last one is working in particular great today because we just got short yesterday. It closed at a very teeny weeny loss. And today it is low and last coming down pretty good, down 50 cents. So we're profitable at this point. Now our stop is still up here. I could make it come down a little quicker if I wanted, but I'm going to leave it alone because this high could be significant, but it came nowhere near our stop at this point, and that's making money now. How low can she go? Well, this little top looks sort of like a double, but not really. But what happens if it is? Then I'm just going to take this distance right in here and go down and eyeball it. It looks like we're coming pretty close to these lows back in September, which is fine with me. That'd be my first downside objective around the lows in early mid-September. Next, well, meal just keeps coming down, got overbought, got very, very close to some previous highs, couldn't make higher highs than the last exact high with an ER sell signal on the high day. Too bad we didn't have one over here. But now we have another new low after overbought and double topping out. Some people might try to make a triple top out of this. That, kind of qualifies, but these are pretty close together. But, one or the other really doesn't matter. The downside objective is measured the same way across the highs or averaging the highs to the lowest low down to here. Now that is 295 up to 350, 55, maybe almost 60 lower. Wow. That's quite a substantial amount lower. 230? Yep. Wow. No, boy. This is a huge sideways trading range that'll turn out to be very bearish. Next chart. Corn. New sell signal just a couple of days ago, and then another one yesterday. And we are nosediving. I love this. This I don't get a chance to show you people very often. ER1 sell signal on the 8th of October. Of course, had a scalp, but we're talking about the overnight trade. Got short right there at the beginning of the green trade line. Our stop for that trade is right here, moving down, not any today. But we have another ER sell signal just yesterday. I can also tell you by looking at inside the body of yesterday that it's got some green dots. That's meaning it has a green profitable scalp yesterday. Not much point in telling you the amount or anything. But the high yesterday was 2 ticks above our new short sell order. We almost got the exact high of the day. So close. Closed with a very nice profit on the first day for ER3 overnight, and just dropping off substantially today again. So now we have 2 trade lines, this one, of course, and this one. Both are doing very nicely. We are, let's reformat my scale here, at 38, not close to my 25 threshold for oversold. So I love it. This is great. I couldn't ask for too much more perfection. I obviously hate to say that word, but it damn near it in this particular case. New chart. Wheat, nothing. Overbought, resistance area, stop the rally. Bearish engulfing today. Not high enough to get overbought, so no red. We got the bottom in green, perfect to the day. We also got the beginning of that rally, and these worked maybe a little bit and maybe didn't. Not, no major damage done. We got this low back in here. That's great. And a couple of tops, but that's the one that really counts just before the crash. That's the one you love. Okay, and then we have a little loss. Okay, next. Bearish engulfing did not work in cattle at all. So we had an offset yesterday on our one overnight, lost some money. Today, the market's made a new high above yesterday, and it is down some. It could, because it's still overbought and has been for I don't know, what is this, 3 weeks, a month almost? About 3 weeks. So it's prime target to have another bearish engulfing, which would be fantastic and hopefully would work great. I oftentimes get 2, 3, sometimes even about 4 signals at bottoms or tops within a month or so. And that's 4 weeks, regardless of whether it's the same month, a 4-week period. Next is hogs, resistance, now getting chewed into, new high, maintaining a current quote above all previous highs lately. But I think it's very close to topping out. We'll find out soon. Best I can say, back to the E-mini, and we are still up 2 points on the day. But be very careful here. I would not be going long the stock market indexes. I'm still looking for the October lows. It could end up being a very sharp break to satisfy my expectations. I'm running out of time. Well, I just haven't got. Okay, you guys have a great day and profitable trading for you. Have a good weekend.